Right now with the Engine 9000 debugger, we're going to check out Marvin's Marvellous Adventure, which is a really underrated game from 1994. It's very kind of Mario-esque and very colorful. It's an AGA game, and when it scrolls, it's got 3 layers of overlapping parallax scrolling and the bottom of the screen there. It's a very big game. I think there's like 60 levels. I saw a long play that takes over 4 hours to finish it. So good value for money. Right here you can see 101 colors on screen at once. Here's the palette visualizer. So it's 64 colors, 6-bit planes. It's kind of cool. They've tried to make it sort of look like an old TV here, how it rounds out at the edges. If you put the copper visualizer on, you can see, yeah, that it's got different display window start and display window stop. So I think that's creating that effect there. The game has extensive use of sprites for the backgrounds. If I put the blitter visualizer on here, you can see that it's not blitting too much, just the main character and the enemy and a few objects here and there. So let's check out the background. If we take the bit planes off, that's all the sprites there. Even if we take the sprites off, it's got a nice copper background, very, very colorful. And then the sprites, sprite 0 is the score here, and 1, it's attached for 15 colors. And then sprite 2 is part of the background, and then attached and also multiplexed across the screen, as you can see with the copper visualizer here, how it's multiplexed. And then sprite 4 and 5 attached, finish off the background. And sprite 6 is just 3 colors. So let's just look at it by itself. So sprite 6 is just 3 colors. And it's also multiplex, 64 pixels every 64 pixels across the screen. So it's got these 3 blue colors here, and then it changes the color at the top for the clouds, which are also just 3 colors, and also changes the scrolling speed, so the clouds all move at different speeds. So then if we put it all together, there it is, all the sprite background. And if I move, you can see it just on its own. Oh, pretty nice. I'll just check out a few more of the levels. This one's got 120 colors. The blitter visualizer shows you that the water is being blit, all in small blocks, and the stars from time to time, just when they twinkle. It's got another nice, really colorful gradient. With the AGA 24-bit color, you can really pop. And the sprites are the clouds here and the sun. With the sprite visualizer, you can see them all back here. Sprite 4, sprite 5, sprite 6. This level has the sprites in the background scrolling diagonally when you're stopped, and then when you're moving, because you're moving, they scroll vertically. And there's no slowdown in the game, just sometimes in the debugger and with my computer, it will slow down, but as you see, 50 frames per second at the bottom. And I just discovered that this puff of smoke that comes out is also a sprite. So if I pause it, it's just sprite 2. So that's cool. And just 3 colors. So it's amazing how you can do 3 color sprites and you would never notice because everything else is so colorful. Okay, one correction from before is that actually the bobs are 25 frames per second. So here I'll do the frame at a time. So frame, 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 frame. So every 2 frames, but the main character is every frame. If I jump, frame, 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 50 frames a second. And the scrolling, frame, 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 frame. So 50 frames a second there too. So just 25 for the bobs, which a lot of games do. Make it faster, and you don't really notice when your character and the screen is at 50 frames per second. These inside the ship levels have cool use of the sprites in the background. So if you take off the bit planes, and it's just the sprites, you can see that when you're moving, there's also the clouds there. So they make another layer. So it's just sprite 6, that's the clouds, and it has a different priority to the other sprites, so it goes behind. Okay, this is very interesting. The levels that are dark actually use, instead of 6-bit planes like the rest of the game, it uses 7-bit planes. So if you just have 6-bit planes, it looks like this. But when you put on the 7th-bit plane, you get all that. So 7-bit planes is 128 colors. So if you go to the palette visualizer, the first half of the palette is black. And then the colors on this side are cycling. When you put the blitter visualizer on, it's just blitting the white areas. So switch back and forth. Just those light areas are being blitted. And when you discover the pickup that is a candle on your head, this is what happens. Lights up more of the screen. And then if you put the blitter visualizer on, it's blitting that whole entire area around you. It's giving that effect. And in this level, they've changed the sprite priority to be in the foreground. So if you look at the sprites, it's just the top. It's just a glitch here. This usually doesn't happen. So very cool and fun levels. And you can transport through these little pipes. It takes you from one to the next. So fun game. There's also some really big bosses in the game, and there's a cool vertical level where you're in a jetpack, and there's translucent clouds, but unfortunately I can't find the password for that. So that might have to wait for another day. But yeah, if you've never played this game, I recommend it. It's good fun and very colorful and shows off the AGA chipsets. So again, thank you for watching. I always appreciate it. And until next time, take care.